My ninth grade science teacher was fond of saying if all the ifs, ands, and buts were candy and nuts, every day'd be Christmas. As we welcome in Michael Burwell from the Toledo Blade. And Michael, for the first half of that game, it was almost Christmas, New Year's, homecoming, all wrapped up in one as the Falcons dominated Penn State in the first half.
Oh, just unbelievable start for BG. I mean, offensively, they did just about whatever they wanted, and they did it without so many key players. Terrion Stewart, star running back, out with an ankle injury. Probably could have played, but they'd rather play it safe. Two of their top 3 or 4 wide receivers were also out as well, and they come out and just move the ball at will against one of the best defenses in the country. Unbelievable start. They march right down the field, get a touchdown on the first drive, ends Penn State's 28-game streak of not allowing a touchdown on the first drive, which was the longest active streak in the nation. So just close to 300 yards of offense the first half, just so impressive. And then the second half happened.
What happened in that second half?
I think Penn State just made a couple adjustments and defensively, I think they're just a little more aggressive, maybe switched up some defenses. And BG, the third quarter, they went 3 and out in both of their drives, and that was just not what they needed. They needed to come out and just keep the pedal to the metal. And at the end of the game, they're still right there. They're only down 3 points with about 6-7 minutes left. And the first turnover of game, a costly interception. It was a great play by the Penn State player, kind of a diving interception over the middle. Next BG possession, another interception. Penn State gets a long rushing touchdown in there. So absolutely remarkable effort from BG. It's tough to come up short. You had a chance to really just completely shock the college football world and upset a top 10 team. But at the same time, there are a ton of positives to take away from this game.
One of those positives is, unlike the last time Bowling Green played a top 10 Big Ten team in the regular season a year ago against Michigan, they gave the Wolverines a threat as well, but they came out of that game very hurt, very banged up. It cost them the rest of the regular season in some cases. They're in a better situation injury-wise coming out of this Penn State loss.
Right. Head coach Scott Loeffler mentioned, he believes that they came out healthy, which, just a vast difference from the Michigan game last year. That completely affected their next week's prep against Ohio last year, and then they got completely blown out at home. Definitely made an impact the rest of the year. As far as we know, from Saturday, it looked like they're pretty healthy. I don't recall any players leaving the game with an injury. I know one of their offensive linemen did get banged up, but I think he returned later on. So I think for the most part, they came out of this pretty healthy.
Another one of the bright spots from that game, and it's been a bright spot for quite some time for Bowling Green, is tight end Harold Fannin. Last year, there was a lot of speculation he might leave via the transfer portal. I think this year the speculation is going to be he's going to leave through the NFL draft. He's got another year of eligibility remaining, but he continues to play like this, he's going to be playing on Sundays next season.
I think without question. He just unstoppable. The other day, career high 11 receptions, career high 137 yards, had a touchdown reception as well. He's doing this against one of the best defenses in the country. He looks so good. He seems so much more fit, much more athletic this year. And that's saying something because last year, he was a star last year, but he's even taken his game to another level this year. I think he's leading the country among tight ends in receptions with 17, yards with 204, has a touchdown. His last 7 or 8 games are just dating back to last year are just sensational. He's an absolute superstar, and if you're BG, you get him the ball as much as you can.
You made the trip to Beaver Stadium. Anytime you have over 100,000 folks at one spot, it's going to be a lot of noise, going to be a lot of excitement. Your impressions of that entire Happy Valley experience?
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. Just the people, it's just so loud. Like everything is just so amplified, and I'll tell you what, BG handled it pretty well. Especially the first half, they only had 1 penalty for 5 yards. It was a false start penalty. I think the crowd got into it a little bit. Second half maybe made a little bit of a difference with the crowd noise. They had a couple penalties. They had to burn a couple timeouts early on because of the crowd noise. And obviously Penn State was playing a lot better. That crowd is going to get pumped up. But if you're a player like that, who wouldn't want to play in something like that? Just so many great, just really, really exciting and pretty cool venue to go to.
Falcons with the week off, how are they going to use this week now?
Get healthy.
Yeah.
You know, a guy like Terrion Stewart, you know, try to get him back, you know, close to 100%, you know, try to get him maybe ready for Texas A&M. If not, at least get him back ready for MAC play. Maybe a couple of those wide receivers, you know, work their way back. I think that's the biggest thing is to stay healthy and don't lose this early season momentum. I mean, they're 1-1, you know, a dominating win over Fordham. Obviously played Penn State really well. There's some good things happening in Bowling Green, and you know they have to have a really good week of practice. They really have to just focus on not letting up, you know, no setbacks, anything like that. So I think just continuing what they're doing and just getting healthy as well will be key.
So the Falcons have the week off. Their next game is in 2 weeks under the lights in Texas, taking on Texas A&M. We'll see what the Falcons do with the Aggies beginning next week. I want to thank our guest, Michael Burwell from the Toledo Blade. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.